handed 15-month jail sentence for assaulting his partner avoids prison by changing sex so he cannot be punished for gender-based violence. Now, doesn't this just expose just how discriminatory the law is? Exact same crime, apparently. If committed by someone of the same gender, no prison time. If someone of the opposite gender, and by that I mean only a man versus a woman, not the other way around, suddenly it's over a year in prison. Interesting how that works. But yeah, this is a genius move. This is a 700 IQ 11D chess move right here. Take notes, guys. If the law is biased against you as a man, just become a woman. So a man giving 15 months in jail for assaulting his partner has avoided prison by changing his sex so he cannot be punished for gender-based violence. Brilliant. Antonio Luis BR walked free when the Court of Violence Against Women in Seville, Spain withdrew from the case after he legally became a woman. Use their own systems against them, guys. According to the victim's lawyer, Jose Antonio Sirius, his client broke off a relationship with Luis 5 years ago following a decade of psychological and physical abuse. Yeah, receipts or it didn't happen. Like, if you've been around, if you've been following me for like the over a decade I've been on YouTube, we've covered so many stories of women that just like when they want a divorce or a breakup, all of a sudden you were abusive, you touched the kids, you did you snuggled the dog, you did everything bad under the sun. Yeah, I don't believe any of this. Unless there's proof, I by default don't believe any of this. So though she took out a restraining order, he simply ignored it and continued harassing her. Now, if this is true, yeah, she may have a point. In current year -5, the case was brought before the court, and Luis was sentenced to 15 months in prison for violating the restraining order and making threats against his ex. Oh, he didn't even hit her. All he did was violate the restraining order and allegedly made threats. Again, a lot of women tend to over-exaggerate and perceive things as worse than they actually were. I don't even know if he made threats. We'd need to see exactly what happened. We need the receipts. Receipts are important. The case dragged on for years while his defense repeatedly made appeals against the sentence. These failed, and eventually the court ordered his imprisonment on September 11th last year. But he had one trump card. But having become a whammons the month before, Luis escaped. Was it justice? I don't know. We need the specifics of the case. Now, just by what was said in this article, he sounds guilty, but we haven't heard his side of the story yet. He used a new law allowing those over 16 to change their registered gender without needing medical or psychological reports. His lawyers appealed again, saying he could not be tried for gender-based crimes because he was a new person. They claimed the court could no longer try him as a man because that would violate the alphabet soup law, requested a pardon, and demanded the case be dropped. And the Court of Violence Against Women has now withdrawn from it. I guess they don't care about violence against women if it comes from other women. Isn't that just a funny revelation there? Like, just ignoring all the Transformer stuff that we're laughing at here? Why do these organizations only care about violence against women when it comes from men? Yet women can commit the same violence against other women, and nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye. Very weird. During a hearing on August 13th, the court heard how now that the accused is a woman, there's a lack of objective jurisdiction. Well played, Chad. Well played. Mr. Cirrus called Luis's actions an undoubted fraud. I think this Mr. Cirrus person should probably be sued for this. Like, this is defamation, libel, slander, everything. And said he changed sex with the sole purpose of avoiding specific penalties for men who commit violence against their wife or ex-wife. Yup, it's a misinterest law. And it likely doesn't go the other way. Like, they don't care if a woman commits these same crimes against a man or another woman. But if a man does it, well, then that's a problem. So he added the perpetrator seeks to exploit the law in a deceitful way. Prove it. Mr. Sears has now called for Luis to be tried in criminal court instead of a specific one for gender violence. He said the victim is still suffering from a continuous ordeal. Adding the attacks and threats, far from ceasing, have continued, raising fear for the victims' physical integrity. Last July, Luisa allegedly attacked his ex again and threatened her, reportedly saying, "You only have days left to live." When police arrived, he told them, "I am a woman." Again, this makes him sound guilty, and if this is true, he should be tried criminally. But again, receipts or it didn't happen. Mr. Sears insisted men cannot evade convictions for gender-based violence, and even if they register as a woman, the legal responsibilities they had before remain. But she's not a man; she's a woman. Okay. Why do you want to hold a woman to men's standards? Are you low-key admitting that men and women are held to different standards despite allegedly being equal? Maybe you need to fix these broken, misandrist laws. Just food for thought. But once again, another example of the Transformers doing more to aid men's rights than the men's rights movement did since its inception, during its entire existence. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. Either way, you go, girl. Show them how it's done. Yeah, dead naming in a mainstream media article. Well, we don't know if she changed her name, though. We just know that he became a she. And that's good enough for me. If the stunning and brave Whammons Plus says she's a woman, then she's a woman. Until we force the other side to admit what makes a woman, let's go by their standards. I'm fine with that. Doesn't affect me any. In fact, it actually helps me. Now I have an out in case I'm ever in a similar situation. Why would I want to ruin that? Yeah, all the problems with this are not my problems. It's your problem. You're the one that I didn't want this. You wanted this. Now put up with it.